I'm a director at Pop. We make baby carriers for women all over the world. We started the company, I think, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, producing mostly baby wraps, and over time we added also baby carriers to it. We try to make a very good products of high quality, and also as a brand, I think we stand for the fact that we empower women and want to empower women. We say, okay, if you get a baby, you can keep it close because it's very good for you. It's good for your baby as well. But there's no reason to not look good or to feel uncomfortable with that. You can just be beautiful and have your baby close to you using one of our products. Yeah. At some point in time, we decided to open a web shop. And then after some selection, we chose for PrestaShop as the preferred platform for having our e-commerce on. We started with one company in Amsterdam in developing that e-commerce shop, and then we learned quite a lot. It was not that easy. There's a lot of things that come to you when you're talking about e-commerce. And at some point there were some difficult things. We had some preferences that we wanted certain things in a certain way in our shop, but the development team that we worked with at the time was unable to solve those problems, and we kept working on it, but we didn't move forward. And at some point I thought, let's look around. Maybe there's other experts in the field of PrestaShop that can help us with these problems, and that's how I reached out to you. And then to my utmost surprise, I must say, you returned back to me within half a day or a day and said, oh, we have looked into it and the problem was actually not so complex, we solved it and this is it. I thought, apparently there is people in the world that are really experts on PrestaShop. So I think not long thereafter we decided to move all our development to your company. We had some discussions on that, and since then we have been working together. Yeah. BelVG is involved currently in all the development of our web shop. So in fact we are running a separate website which is in the WordPress platform, and we have the development for that in another company. But BelVG's scope is all about PrestaShop, and we work with two, let's say, mostly dedicated developers at the moment. One is more on the front side of things and the other one is more on the back side of things. And everything that comes around there is taken by BelVG. As said, BelVG works with a project manager. That's basically the person that I talk to every day. It's you. We have a daily contact on which tasks are worked on, which new tasks we need to be worked on. And next to the project manager, there is a front-end developer and a back-end developer, I think, or just general code developer that is working on the back-end tasks. Yeah. Okay, I didn't check that, to be very honest, but I think if you count everything together, it will be quite a lot, right? So maybe 100,000 or maybe 200,000? No, I think somewhere in between there. I think we are at a better stage than ever, since we just met in real life after 3 years of working together. So that's very good. And besides that, it's for the first time now that we work with a 3-person team in BelVG. Yeah. So we never had a separate front and back end developer. So since 1 or 2 months we have it in this way. Yeah, let's hope that we can keep it in this way and make further steps. If everything goes well, I think we can move forward in the directions as we just discussed. Well, in the very beginning, it was very clear that you were able to solve some very specific problem that others find very difficult in a very quick and clear way. That's one thing. Next, as a clear evidence, I would say, at some point you were not hesitant to tell me that after having developed in a certain version of PrestaShop, we kind of reached the limits and it was time to maybe remake big parts of it in a newer version of PrestaShop. So then we decided to do so and went in that direction. That took time, of course, as you also know, but I think in the very end it was a good decision. And another, if you talk about evidence, I think if we look at our downtime or the amount of problems that we have on our live web shop, I think BelVG does very well. What I like very much is that they're just very, how would you say, accessible? Not so sure. I can reach out to them very easily. So basically I have a Skype line open that is there all day, so if there's anything urgent I can write there. But from a day-to-day perspective there's always some contact and we know what we're doing. If I ask questions they will be responsive, not within 48 hours but in, let's say, 1, 2, 3 hours. So that's very helpful. It feels natural in that way. There's not so much waiting involved. Besides that, I think they keep track of the many tasks that we have for them. It's front-end tasks, back-end tasks, problems that relate to specific modules or new things that we want. We have a project management system for that. And of course a project management system only works well if you maintain it well, otherwise you will end up with a mess and have nothing. But also that the management of the system is also done by BelVG in a very accurate way. It's kind of always up to date, so that means that we can have a clear overview of what needs to be done and what we are working on currently, so that works very well. What I very much like is the level of dedication that your people have in working on those code pieces. Yeah? So for me it's beyond my level of imagination that somebody can just be dedicated to that from early in the morning, and then sometimes I even see updates in the management system very late in the evening, and then I think, oh, somebody has been working all day on solving this tiny detail, and going through large pieces of code. And as we just discussed, as the styles are managed in a big file that has many lines, and then I come with some request, can we remove some white space here? And then somebody finds the motivation and dedication to go into it and work on it for one day, and then solves it in the very end, whatever is necessary. So yeah, I think I have much respect for that attitude. Yeah. He has been working maybe for 1 full week on a certain task and is completely focused on all the details that are in there. And then he says, oh, I think I'm done now. And then sometimes that's also the comment that I receive, oh, the task is done. And then I look into the task without all those details, but from the broader perspective, and say, hey, some parts are done now, yes, but you missed maybe some other relevant parts. So in the current case, I just tell you and you work a bit further. But what could be an improvement is that on your side there's also somebody that is taking the bigger picture and checks it from the more holistic perspective, whether all the requirements are really met now, before you go to your customer and tell me, yes, it's done. Because what we've learned over time is that the way the developer looks at this from his personal perspective is not always completely in line with the facts, which is also understandable since he is in all those details. But somebody needs to take a step back and say, hey, is this really it, or was there any other things or areas that were also part of this task? Yeah. Go to BelVG and get your e-commerce developed there. To be very honest, yesterday I was talking to my bookkeeper and said to him, yeah, I'm in Minsk now because I will visit the IT company, and he said, oh, would they have some space for other projects? I said, of course. And then he asked me, would you recommend them? Would you recommend one of his other customers to go to BelVG? Because I said, absolutely, because I think also looking at the price levels, but also looking at the level of dedication and expertise, I think it's absolutely a very good deal. So I would advise anybody to contact BelVG and start some development here. Absolutely.